Hey now. Hey now, y'all. I'm here to tell you that life, woo, it's a marathon. It definitely ain't no sprint. And I'm going to tell you why. Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, I'm recording this video from the bed. Today I attempted the Ann Arbor full marathon, and it was an epic fail forward, and I'll tell you why. Number one is I did not finish the marathon. I did not finish it. I end up only doing one loop, and I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself. And the reason why I say it was an epic fail forward is because, yeah, I failed to complete what I had intended to do, but it was really forward movement for me as a person individually, because I learned some lessons from this particular event. Number one is that I learned a couple of things. Number one is that if you're going to volunteer the day before, make sure that you don't have to stand on your feet for 5 hours and move around. Because essentially what I was doing was, while I wasn't necessarily running, I was putting a lot of load on my body and my feet. And as a result, it hit me at a couple points in times in the race. And so really being on my feet all that time, I knew when I came home last night, that I was like, woo, I feel a little worn out. But I didn't realize how worn out I was until I really got into the race, because I was fired up in the morning. I was fine. But spending those 5 hours on my feet the day before, I mean, we always talk about tapering down when it comes to doing marathons, and standing on your feet for 5 hours the day before is not an example of tapering down. I may not have been running, but I was on my feet, and that's what tapering down is really about. Staying off your feet so you can feel fresh the next day, or the next whatever days to come you're going to do your race. So that was lesson number one. Lesson number two is that I had a bout of diarrhea a couple days before the race. And so the more I thought about it, I hadn't really eaten a lot, and because the diarrhea was so unpredictable and it would come and it would go, I would sip on stuff and then it would kind of incite it to start again. And then, depending on what I drank, which I didn't drink anything but water, but I tried to drink some electrolytes, because I was like, with diarrhea, you become dehydrated. And I was like, I need to make sure my body is hydrated so I could do this race. Because one of the things that happened for me when I run is that I sweat a lot. So hydration is my issue, always my issue when I'm running. And I just think I failed to really sufficiently hydrate my body. And so much so that lesson number three was, lesson number two, in terms of hydration, is that although yesterday, I did not experience the kind of diarrhea symptoms and or cramps that I had experienced the 2 days before. So I thought I was pretty much healed. But I will tell you right now, I was about mile 9 when those pains started to hit me, and I was scared. Oh my God, it scared the living bejesus out of me, because I thought, oh my God, what I thought I was going to poop on myself. And I was afraid, because I was nowhere near, like where was I? I was, where was I? Mile 9 was, I was, over by Fuller Park. Yeah. In Fuller Park, we run through the trail there, and there are no the bathroom would have been way back, would have been like almost a mile back. So I was at a point where there was no bathroom nearby. Like, it was either a mile ahead of me or a mile back or half a mile. And when you're when you're experiencing diarrhea, half a mile to get to a restroom is not going to be, it's not a solution. And so I felt those cramps and I panicked, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then my pace slowed down, because when you have those moments, you feel like you can't control what's going to come out of you. And I just knew I was going to start pooping all over myself. And I just that was the last thing I wanted to happen, and so, so if you have diarrhea a couple days before, don't do the race. Just let it go, because you don't know how your body's going to really react. And like I said, with the whole hydration thing, it probably just exasperated that anyways. And then I think lesson number 3 was I woke up this morning to a cycle. What's up with that? I have not had a cycle in several months. So I was like, what? I was like, if there could be any more issues for me today, that was not one of them. And I know that what happens when I'm on my cycle is that my iron's low. So again, I could tell, like I would run for a certain distance and then I would just oxygen wise, I could tell like, because when you're losing blood, you're losing oxygen really from your body. So anyways, I was on my cycle. That was not good. It's not to say that I can't run on my cycle or do long distance I can, but I usually like to prepare. And like I said, I hadn't had a cycle in several months, so I didn't prepare. I would have, pumped up my beet juice, made sure I had more spinach, made sure I had more iron-rich foods so that my body could have sufficient iron during the race. But I didn't. I just kind of woke up, there it was, and I was having to deal with it. Amen to that. I think lesson number 4 was that paying attention to my body, really, really paying attention to my body was really important. And why I'm saying that is because, again, probably about halfway through, when I started to go up hills, my quads were on fire, burning to the point where, So usually when I run up hill, usually what happens with hills is I try to like do a hop jump kind of run up the hill. Woo, that was hurt. It hurt me. It was paining me. And it really taught me that, not only pay attention to my body, but look, if you're dehydrated, that means you don't have any minerals and vitamins, electrolytes in your body. Although I did drink liquid IV, I've been drinking liquid IV for the last 3 days, but I see that really wasn't enough. And that the reason why my quads were burning is because I had no protein. So probably what could have helped me is to have had maybe a protein drink. But again, the diarrhea was so unpredictable. Everything I ate seemed like it just made it worse or made it come on. And so I was just really like, oh. So listening to my body. I just didn't effectively really listen to my body and figure out what I needed to do to make sure that I was ready. Mind you, just 3 weeks ago, I ran like 28 miles. So I was more than sufficiently ready for this race. It wasn't an issue for me. I've done other ultra events, so it's not like I can't do this long distance. But man, when you have certain things happen prior to, it's important to listen to your body, because your body's like, yeah, I know you could do ultra events, Charlotte, but under these circumstances, it's not going to be the same. And I mean, at one point in time, I was going so slow, I could hardly move my feet. And so I do suffer from this thing called, when I do my races, I don't like to stop. I really don't. It's a bad habit. But I had to stop. At one point in time, I had to sit down and just like sit down. And I never sit down. I don't like to sit down. I like to keep moving. I like to just keep going until I get to the finish line. That's just how I am. I don't know what that is, but I had to sit down. And that sitting down did help me feel better, but it did kind of help me realize now that I was paying attention to my body, that I was really I was in bad shape. And so what ended up happening was, I think that was like maybe 2 miles before I was done with my first loop, which is, the 13-mile loop. And so I kind of knew then, like, you're going to do this loop and that's it, baby. And I kept thinking, well, if I do this part, and I kept negotiating with myself, right? I'm like, if I do the first part, that's going to be hard, but then I get to the rest, because I knew like certain areas of the race would be not be super easy, but there wasn't a lot of hills and there wasn't a lot of stuff. And there was a lot of downhills, particularly on the first end of it, but there was a lot of uphills as well. And so I'm thinking, oh, if I could just hang in there, I could do it. But what had happened is I got to the finish line and I was headed towards the finish line where you can cross over and get your medal. I turned my body. I was like a baby, maybe like 50 feet from the finish line. I turned my body to the left and I went over the parking lot, over to where my car was parked, and got in my car, took my butt home. I was like, I don't even want a medal right now. I think part of it was I was punishing myself, because I felt like I came here to do a full marathon and all I did was a half marathon. I think secondly, I was embarrassed, and I don't know why, because nobody knew what I came there to do but me. And I think thirdly, I did that because I decided, once I got into the car, that, look, Charlotte, I want you to do things And I want the internal validation to be more than sufficient. That I want to get away from being externally dependent on people validating me, externally dependent on people celebrating me, external dependency on people saying, yeah, you did a good job. I got in that car and I said, baby, you did a good job. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Under the circumstances, you probably did more than the average person would have ever even attempted. And I wanted to say to myself, I don't need a medal. I don't ever need a medal to celebrate, honor, and feel good about something that I did. According to my Strava, I did 13.8 miles, and there's a reason why, because I got a little lost in the Arbor for a hot minute. But that's okay, and so, yeah, it would have been nice to have a little medal hanging up on the wall. And I feel like it wasn't the medal that I went for, but I'm proud of the effort that I put into it. And so that's why I feel like it was an epic fail forward. Yeah, I failed, but I failed forward in terms of recognizing, like, look, you got to take care of your body. It really taught me more than anything, take care of my body. Number 2, honor where you are at any one given moment and know that you're not going to necessarily be able to move beyond that. And so, man, I'm excited. I'm glad I did it. Honestly, I just really wanted an Ann Arbor Marathon accomplishment under my belt, because I felt like I live in Ann Arbor. I do all this ultra running. Why wouldn't I at least have the marathon done in Ann Arbor? Like, this is the city I grew up in. And I say to myself in this very moment that we'll try again next year. That's the goal. And we'll see how it goes. And that's okay. And that's okay. So I'm super honored and super humbled. So that's my life as a marathon, baby. Oh my God. I think we could just sprint our way into things and sprint our way through life. But sometimes it's a marathon. You got to go through moments, journeys, experiences, things that happen. And they make up, the culmination of the things make up life. And so I just, came on to say I'm proud of myself. Good job, Charlotte. Good job. And I'll show you guys some of my pictures. And, well, I just only got a couple pictures, and then the picture of my bib and the picture of my Strava. And so life is a marathon, baby. Tell you. But you can have an epic fail forward. Don't think that failure is always mean it's like that's the end. Sometimes failure is what you needed to get on the right direction and to get right in the first place. Really, sometimes failure is really you bumping up against the wall because it's saying, look, this ain't really the direction you need to go in anyways. Sometimes failure is really designed to give you the lessons that you need. I really learned that I have got to take better care of my body and ensure that when it's not doing well, to not try to overtax it, because it can't take it. And at this age, I really can't overtake it. But I'm excited. I'm proud of what I did. And I'm excited to share with you my journey. So tell me if you were at the Ann Arbor Marathon. I didn't see a lot of folks that I knew at the Ann Arbor Marathon. But if you feel like life is a marathon, share with me about what that means to you. And I'd love to hear from you. So thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Peace and a whole bunch of love. Take care now, fam. Talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a little something out of it, and I look forward to sharing with you more of my thoughts about spirituality. Understand that this ain't meant to be no monologue. I'm not preaching at you, but this is a space for discussion. So please, pretty please, with sugar on top, leave your text or video comments below, because I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I'll see you next time, wishing you nothing but peace, prosperity, and a whole bunch of love. Take care now, beautiful spirits. I love you, and namaste.